Hi guys, and welcome to the Watchalong for Manchester City versus Arsenal. The the Watchalong and the match should be starting in just about 10, 12, 14 minutes to be exact, and then we'll have a curtain raiser for the 2023-2024 Premier League season. So just waiting for the match to begin, and yeah, so that's the thing, and hopefully people will join us, and we'll have some excellent, you know, talk, chat, and who knows, maybe even some banter. So let's see how it goes, and while we wait, let's discuss some of the transfer business that has been done by both the teams, and yeah, so we'll see what happens then, and yeah, so for Arsenal, we have they of course have signed Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. Looks like they might be signing David Raya as well. So we'll of course be discussing the team news as becomes it is available now. But it's for whatever it's worth, it's still preseason friendly, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, going back to going back to the going back to the transfer business that has been done by both the teams. Kai Havertz has been signed in terms of defense. I can't recall anyone, but yeah, Kai Havertz and Declan Rice. They've signed another one whose name is escaping me. I just is bit strange. I just can't recall who they have signed. Uh, anyways, so that's the thing with Arsenal, and I'm sure I'm forgetting someone pretty you know important, and we'll I hope I can, obviously, of course, I can you know, I can Google it, but not sure whether my voice and my you can see the video when I change the thing, but yeah, so that's the thing. Is it I'm not sure it's working exactly as I want it to be. So yeah, and then we have Manchester City, of course, who have signed uh, Guardiol and they signed Mateo Kovacic. They've signed who who's of course from Chelsea. And now let's just look at the two teams. The two teams are in, and for Arsenal, it's Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kieran, Julian Timber. Of course, they've signed Julian Timber, the right back from Ajax, who was last year very close to signing for Manchester United, but of course they ended up signing his centre back partner, uh, Lisandro Martinez. Yeah, so Partey, Rice, Granit Xhaka has of course moved on to Bayer Leverkusen in Germany, Martin Odegaard, of course, the captain, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus. I don't know if you've heard this thing or not, but he's injured, and yeah, so that's the thing, and that's the thing um, with Gabriel Jesus. He's injured, and as for City, they have uh, they have Ortega Moreno in goal, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Manuel Akanji, Rodri as he's known, and then we have Grealish and Bernardo Silva. Julian Alvarez won the World Cup, and then we have the sensation from last year in Erling Haaland, who was the last year's Golden Boot winner, Football Writers Association um, Player of the Year as well, and so yeah, it is expected to be a tough test for both the teams. They both finished first and second. Of course, because Manchester City won the double. They won the treble actually, but they won the English domestic double, and so some issue with my video, I think, and that is causing some issue. Not sure how I'm going to set it up, but let me just check. It's working fine here. It's not working fine here. So let me just remove it from there, and then we'll discuss the team news as it is, and then we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I think it's only working at one place, so we can we can discuss the uh, the team news as it is. So let's see how it goes. So just adjusting my uh, camera. So just give me a moment, and then hopefully it should show. There's the there's the team news, and uh, why just give me a minute. I'm trying to adjust the video. The teams are out in the uh, in the in the in the tunnel, just waiting for the game to start. Pep Guardiola is there. Kyle Walker captains Manchester City, and then we have the why is it not working? Just give me a minute. I'm trying to fix this damn video. Just a minute. Should come up now. Should uh, it should work now. Should Hopefully it will. It is now. So it should come up on your screen. It should be showing, and we have Gilberto Silva on the pitch, and yep. So match should start soon. Of course, no Kevin De Bruyne today for Manchester City, and hopefully, I'm not sure whether he's on the bench or not, but I'll check that thing if he's on the bench or not. Uh, but but City side looks strong still, and yeah, and we'll see. As I said earlier, in essence, it is still friendly between two clubs. But given that another dynamic that we don't remember is that Pep Guardiola had Mikel Arteta as his assistant while a few years back before taking over the Arsenal job. Mikel Arteta was assistant to uh, Pep Guardiola. I'm sure he learned a thing or two from Pep Guardiola. Of course, he'd be foolish to not learn anything from Pep Guardiola. And so, yeah, John Stones looking forward to see what he does. He was absolutely outstanding in that Champions League final against Inter Milan, and yeah, Julian Alvarez, of course, World Cup winning striker for Argentina, Jack Grealish. He has his own storylines, of course, and yeah, so that's what it is with Jack Grealish. Of course, during the summer we saw quite a few things being done with Jack Grealish. Him walking in Ibiza, let's say not in complete control of his senses, and yeah, so he was what he was. And of course, now we'll have the English national anthem, and then we'll see what the match should kick off in about next 2-3 minutes, and we'll we'll see how it goes, because I am really looking forward to this new season. Of course, Manchester City have won the title 3 years in a row. They won the FA Cup. They could become the first team to win the Premier League 4 times. Only Manchester United have done 3 times. They did it twice. From 2009, 7 to 9, and then sometimes in the early in the 90s, when Sir Alex Ferguson had his side absolutely drilled to perform at uh, at their maximum. So yeah, the ground is now being cleared. The kickoff shouldn't be that far away. In the next 2-3 minutes, we should get our kickoff, and then of course, as I said, it's the curtain raiser to the Premier League season, which begins with the Manchester City taking on Burnley on Friday night, and and yeah, so that would be exciting. What happens? Right, Arsenal going with 4-2-3-1. As I said, um Julian Timber starting at left back, which is of course slightly strange. He's more of a right-sided player, but he's starting on the left. So let's see how it goes with Julian Timber, and same with Manchester City. They're also playing 4-2-3-1 with Rodri and Kovacic, Silva, Alvarez, Grealish behind Erling Haaland, of course, who scored 36 goals in Premier League last season. De Bruyne, Laporte, Phillips, Ederson, and Sergio Gomez, Phil Foden, Palmer, Lewis, and McAtee. Quite a strong bench for Manchester City. They I mean, with Pep Guardiola, he I think plays every game to win, every title to win. He would count this. In England, of course, they don't see Community Shield, or in the European continent they call it the Super Cup, where the FA, their domestic cup winners, they take on the league winners. So, for example, Real Madrid won Copa del Rey, Barcelona won the uh, La Liga title. So then it would be a two-legged affair between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and that is quite serious. Or let's say Juventus, Napoli, Inter, AC Milan, or anybody for that matter. So there it would be. It's quite a serious thing, and so here so the match is about to begin. Let me just restart the clock. Not restart, but start the clock, because the match is about to begin. It's Kai Havertz who has started the kicked off the game, and the game has now begun. Good touch, well done by Rodri. He intercepts and back with Julian Timber and Havertz. Havertz has quite a lot to prove to his I mean, like, his team, and I think at Bayer Leverkusen I watched him quite a bit. He was very good at Bayer Leverkusen, but at Chelsea I had high hopes for him that he would do well at Chelsea, but he's not been his you know at his level where he was with the Bayer Leverkusen. He became a German national with Bayer Leverkusen. The form he was in, the form he was showing with Leon Bailey, when Leon Bailey, who's now at Aston Villa, was with Kai Havertz, the team that they had. Who else was there? They had the Bender twins, and then that's what it was, and so that's what it is, and hopefully at Arsenal, for Arsenal's sake, they would see the best of Kai Havertz, uh, you know. Uh, for the next few years. Manchester City, of course, in the initial few minutes, they are dominating possession, and it's John Stones, I think, is playing it right back, and Akanji at left, if I'm correct, and Ruben Diaz, of course, superb. Uh, Two titles in 2 years, has been the colossal centre back that Manchester City always wanted. And then, if you were watching, I encourage you to, be active in chat. Let's start talking, and then let's see how it goes. Maybe you'd enjoy it. Maybe I'd enjoy it. We'll both enjoy it. What's there not to enjoy? And yeah, so two-way conversation is always better than a monologue that I am going to talk about this game. So yeah, that way it's always better. And back with Stefan Ortega, the German keeper, and so that's what is going on with the uh, City with the possession. Kovacic in the midfield. Kovacic and Rodri. Gundogan has left Manchester City, and Kovacic is a totally different profile of player. He is, of course, more defensive. Gundogan got in the box, and Akanji fouled there by Odegaard. And let's see how role of Odegaard changes this season, because with Rice it perhaps gives him more license to go forward. He Last year Arsenal played a 4-3-3 system, and he was part of the three, that part of three in midfield, but now he can bomb even further forward. He was perhaps one of the biggest prodigies in Norway in his early years. Then he went to Heerenveen, then Real Madrid. Things didn't exactly work at Real Madrid. Then he came to Arsenal on initially on loan, then signed on a permanent, and yeah. So last year, you might remember, Manchester City beat Arsenal thrice, twice in the league, once in FA Cup, and So Arsenal in the early stages, it's all Manchester City with the possession. They look so calm and comfortable in possession, and so Arsenal perhaps a bit more careful this season. They don't want to give City early chances, early momentum with this game. But it's a good diagonal, and here is Akanji, I think, and good ball in. Oh, what a miss! As dreadful miss. I don't know who it was, but quite a bad miss. Quite a bad miss. And to be honest, it was a sitter actually. I don't know how someone a of quality who's playing for Manchester City failed to miss. You know, failed to hit the target, not miss the target. I don't know what I'm talking about, but Bernardo Silva here, and in the Arsenal penalty area, John Stones, no, blocked. Bernardo Silva again, no, and it's Kyle Walker. It's down the Arsenal left, and good intricate play between City players. Chance to shoot, perhaps. No, Arsenal clear, and the danger is averted for now. But it's coming back. John Stones, the last man in his own half, and like Ortega is there, but the last outfield player in the own half, and yeah. So that's how it is for now, and City dominating as you would have expected. A player has lost his boot, and it's I think it's Timber, Julian Timber, formerly of Ajax, very highly rated, and Dutch international, of course, has been. It was no, it actually. My apologies. It wasn't a miss. It was a good clearance by actually Ben White, and Ben White. Julian Alvarez could have, headed Manchester City 1-0 up, but it was well cleared by Ben White, who's mainly a centre half, played midfield at Brighton, and he's playing as a right back for Arsenal. So a bit of a mix. I mean, like, you would want players who can play multiple positions. It looks like initially that Kai Havertz is playing the central striker, and Martinelli, etc., are like both sides of him, and Martinelli, and I think it's Odegaard, and so hope. in a, I think it's just friendly game, but Thomas Partey has already been booked in this Community Shield for a foul on Julian Alvarez, and Thomas Partey. Stuart Atwell is the referee, if you are wondering. So Stuart Atwell, good outing for him. He's a referee who sometimes divides opinion between players and managers. Not the best, not the worst, but Stuart Atwell it is, and yeah. So throw into Arsenal so far. Not much goalmouth action, nothing for any keeper to save or be involved in. And Arsenal taking their time over this throw in, a bit of a longish kind of a throw, and unlucky there for City, pinged into Arsenal straight off his chest, and Arsenal are back in position with Martinelli, and Julian Timber is alongside him, and Kyle Walker, who was you might remember strongly linked with a move to Bayern Munich. Who knows? It might still happen. They have Rico Lewis, Nathan Ake can play right back, and I'm not sure whether this move will happen now. He's captaining Manchester City, and so there's Bukayo Saka, up against Manuel Akanji, who is beaten. Ooh, is it? No. Bukayo Saka looks, valiantly at referee, perhaps looking for a penalty. Initially, I have to say that I thought it might have been, but no. On the replay, it suggests that it was, it was. He did get the ball, and is it a corner? Oh, no, it's a goal kick to Manchester City. But Bukayo Saka had the run on Manuel Akanji there, and yeah, so oh, again a foul. Arsenal, and like they do look uh, a bit, they are, to be honest, they are not Manchester City, and no one is, uh, but Arsenal are committing a lot of fouls. So I mean, it what would be interesting is how this formation plays out for Man City. They, as far as I can remember, it was always 4-3-3 for Manchester City, but this time it's like 4-2-3-1. Rodri has Kovacic beside him, so depends how let's see how Rodri's role changes. He's playing just like a third center half would be, and then last at the end of the last season we saw John Stones getting into midfield and dictating play, but this time with, and like John Stones is playing it, and like he's, I think the right sided center half, with the, I think the Manchester City formation is Kyle Walker right back, John Stones right sided center half, and Ruben Diaz left side, and then of course Akanji, uh, poor ball there by Kyle Walker, cleared by City. Arsenal looking to break, but Kyle Walker gets back to Martinelli, and then here we go again. It's Manchester City back in possession, and Arsenal having a ball in front of them. It's, I mean, like it's all City at the moment, if you ask me, and what I've seen, and yeah. So once again, request would be to get involved in the chat. Let's talk, and if you can read the message which is scrolling below, then request if you can do that. Stefan Ortega, mm, all the way near the halfway line, and maybe, daring Arsenal players to come back and have a go at him. Arsenal playing patiently, having giving Ortega the time that he needs, but I credit to Pep Guardiola. It's a risky game. Every time, I go and play football, I just hoof it, and I'm like, this is super football. Grealish on the left hand side, and yeah, once again trying a through ball intercepted, but back with Man City. Oh, just wide from Rodri. First chance of the game, corner, deflected corner, away from Ramsdale, and yeah, so it was on target if it wasn't for the deflection, and I think it will get counted as a shot on target for Man City, and yeah, so that's the thing, and it's the first corner of the game, and here it comes. Ooh, cleared away by Arsenal, and I think it was Jack Grealish who took the corner. and again pumped back into the box. Uh, Rodri again, such a good player, such an underrated player, and like I mean, of all Pep Guardiola signings, we talk about Haaland. You can talk about others, Ruben Diaz, who's a superb defender. John Stones, I think, was signed by Pep Guardiola in this team. I think all the players have been signed by Pep Guardiola, but Rodri is such a good player. I mean, Jack Grealish again getting fouled quite a bit, but this game so far in the first 13-14 minutes, it's just one-way traffic, and at this rate it's just a matter of time before City work Ramsdale, and then who knows where we go from there. Of course, let me just tell you that it is still a preseason friendly, so if this game ends in a draw, there's no extra time as such. It's going straight to the straight to penalties, and then then let's see. It's a lottery from there, and a long time ago, not a long time, but like 3-4 years ago, it was like a superstition. Whoever won this game ended up losing the title. So let's say if Arsenal wins this game, they'll they'll lose the title. That was the what do you say? That was the superstition among players. So I mean, if you win, it's good enough. If you lose, yeah, okay, that monkey's off our back. I mean, like at least we won't be affected by that superstition. Ooh, John Stones playing a dangerous game. John Stones nearly losing, but foul has been committed, and John Stones taking too many liberties, and Rodri had to commit a foul on Kai Havertz, Spaniard on German, and so that's how it is. Mikel Arteta, former assistant of Pep, as I mentioned, and yeah, so let's see how it goes. But so far, Man City, Mikel Arteta already complaining, and Mikel Arteta booked. Mikel Arteta gets a yellow card, and yeah. So uh, I mean, like I don't know if you have read the news that referees have been asked to be a little bit more stricter in their approach. So we'll see this season. We'll see more time added on for time wastage, goal scoring, and what I mean like substitutions. So in the World Cup, I don't know how much of the World Cup you watched. I watched all 64 games. So we had 10-12 minutes of added time. We could see that same thing in the Premier League this season. Referees have been told to be a lot stricter, and you might also notice that this season only the manager, or at least one, or only one person is allowed in the technical area. So assistants can't come to the managers and talk to them in their area. Of course, as a Newcastle fan, I can tell you, because Jason Tindall was uh, quite often seen in the technical area, but this season that rule has been changed for this season, and let's see how it affects them, affects the players and the teams in particular, because I mean we don't know exactly um, who are the second or let's say assistant managers to Guardiola or Klopp are. We know, and like I know who it is for Pep Guardiola. It's German Burgos, um, and for Klopp, I think it's some Dutch guy or some guy with a Dutch name. I don't exactly know his name, but but we usually don't see them in the technical area. Eric Ten Hag, I don't know who his Steve McLaren, I think, is former Newcastle manager. Of course, he he is the he's the assistant, and who else? I don't know who Ange Postecoglou's right hand man is. I think it's I don't know honestly. So let's see how that rule changes, and and yeah. So just to also let you know, last year it was Liverpool who won the Community Shield. They beat uh, they beat Manchester City 3-1 or 3-2. I think Darwin Núñez was absolutely class that day when he had initially signed. A chance for Arsenal to get into City box, but City clear it and then now have the possession of the ball in their own uh, the 18-yard box. Erling Haaland coming deep to get a touch of the ball. He hasn't seen too much of the ball, and Stefan Ortega clears it to Erling Haaland, and Rodri with the block, and it goes back to Ruben Diaz who plays it to John Stones, and John Stones has it, and now again Arsenal going deep, too far deep, and yeah, so still nil nil. About 20 minutes gone in this game. And I mean, like, I'm no weather expert, but it looks decent. Doesn't look that hot. In the preseason, Arsenal and City actually went to Japan, and oh, chance for Erling Haaland perhaps, but he's crowded out by four Arsenal players. He's the lone striker in the box. Back to Ramsdale, and it's with Julian Timber. And interestingly, Arsenal have four players who you could consider as centre halves. They are playing as centre and like fullbacks. Ben White is a centre half. Julian Timber is a centre half, and of course, transfer window is still open, and Bernardo Silva has been linked with moves away to PSG and PSG and Barcelona. Uh, do Barcelona have money to pay? They're still, of course, I mean, a bit, under the pump because of what they did. They wanted to sign Messi, but he went to Inter Miami in US, and yeah, so that's that's how it is. Anyways, getting back to this game, Ortega taking his liberties out in the out of his D, playing confidently, and like there are sub keepers who who would just hoof. But here goes Kyle Walker down City's right, Arsenal left, and plays it back to now it's with Rodri, and it's John Stones for center half. And like I initially I didn't think John Stones was any good, but now he's England's number one centre back, I think. And there goes Grealish. So many fouls, and like I remember doing the game uh, between Manchester City and Inter Milan, the Champions League final. And the first half was so niggly, and I knew at that point of time that there would be only one goal in the game, and this looks pretty similar. Another foul this time. Erling Haaland fouling Thomas Partey in his in Arsenal's half, so not much danger in terms of the free kick to Manchester City. Of course, just before now, there's a bit of a lull in the game. I'd say Manchester City are of course title favorites. Who do you think will finish in top four, get relegated? I think Manchester City, Liverpool. We of course talk about top four, but this season top five will get you Champions League next year. New formation of new format of the Champions League comes into play. So I think Chelsea under Mauricio Pochettino. Oh, there goes Arsenal. There go Arsenal. Chance, chance, chance. Oh, good stop by Ederson. Another stop from Ederson. Brilliant by Ederson. Two absolutely and like unbelievable stops. They were like just from point blank range. Uh, Initially, it was Ben White with a surging run, Kai Havertz first, and then Gabriel Martinelli with the second attempt. And but it was all of Ben White's work who absolutely tormented uh, Manuel Akanji, the Swiss international, and then Gabriel Martinelli had the second chance, and that was blocked away by Ruben Diaz. So first chance was no John Stones with the second block. First it was Ederson, and then it was Gabriel Martinelli. Um, I mean, like, to be honest, if you are judging players at this level, you have to say that they have to both have to score this chance. They might not get a better chance this in this game. And 24 minutes in, I doesn't look like there will be any break. During the preseason, we saw that there was a break. Uh, you know, heat break or I think third yellow card for Arsenal. This time it's Kai Havertz, and yeah, but kind of a silly foul, intentional foul, and professional foul as the people call it, and yeah, in a competitive game, perhaps it would have been acceptable, but in a game where it's a friendly, the players are still getting used to the surroundings. A lot of these players have been away, far away in the world. Arsenal, as I said, they were in US. Um, City went to Korea, Japan to play. I don't know if you saw scenes from one of those games where it just bucketed down, and it's just unbelievable. Anyways, oh, here's Chang blocked away by Arsenal, and 25 minutes in, Declan Rice so far been okay, nothing, and like City have been dominating the game, but Declan Rice, we'll see more of him in the in the coming in the coming months. Of course, Premier League season is long, 8 or 9 months, May, and then we'll see more of Declan Rice. Here he is on the ball, passes Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard goes to Ben White. I think it's Ben White, and then now William Saliba. He was, of course, a big miss last season with his injury. Arsenal just fell to pieces. They conceded goals left, right, and centre. Southampton, who finished bottom, they had. I mean, they scored three past Arsenal, and yeah. So first half, it is what it is. Second half is we are likely to see a ton of changes, and in terms of chances, nothing much. City have dominated possession, but in terms of chances, as I said, it was that chance for Kai Havertz, and then the chance for Gabriel Martinelli in the same attack. Of course, if one had gone in, the other wouldn't have come about, and so yeah, that's what it is. It's Kyle Walker, I think, in the center half position. John Stones is playing right back. It's I don't know what's happening. Kyle Walker is the right back playing in center half position, and then John Stones is at right back. Pep Guardiola and his things that he does is just unfrigging believable, and yeah. So long ball, well defended by Gabriel. He's a good defender as well, Gabriel. Ooh, Ramsdale playing with fire there, and almost on his own line. And I mean, I don't know to say it, but this game might not end nil-nil because both teams are like it was almost an on goal by Aaron Ramsdale, but it was what it was. He did clear it. Erling Haaland was closing him down. Aaron Ramsdale, I don't know if you saw the story or not, that his wife had a miscarriage during the World Cup, uh, which is, you never want to hear things like that. And chance for City, maybe a throw into Arsenal this time. So going back to Aaron Ramsdale, it's tough thing. A yellow card, another yellow card. First half we have had four yellow cards, and who's been booked there? I'm not sure. Julian Alvarez has been booked. Four yellow cards in first half in a Community Shield game. It's and like no, it's like you've been told to be strict. So in the initial first few weeks they'll be strict, but then they'll revert to type and then start. You know, starting they'll start being lenient towards I think around October November they'll revert to type and they'll be more lenient, but for now they look very strict, and it'd be interesting to see because players are still getting to their full fitness, and and another corner to Arsenal. Well done. They pressed Rodri or Kovacic, one of the two, and Pep doesn't seem too happy with how that phase of play played out, and it's corner to Arsenal, their second corner, I think, uh, and yeah. Gabriel always a danger. William Saliba, Ben White, they have good height in the uh, in the Man City box, but Haaland, Kanji, Diaz, Stones, City have good defense. Bukayo Saka with the corner cleared by Kanji, and then cleared away by Bernardo Silva in the end. And City, interestingly, you would be surprised perhaps that they had every player back defending the corner, and there it goes, another long ball by Ramsdale, headed clear by Walker, and from Sparte, Ben White. Very little. We've seen very little of Bukayo Saka. Honestly, we've seen very little of Arsenal. Most of the possession has been with City, but Arsenal have had two of the best chances. One with Kai Havertz and one with Gabriel Martinelli. Should have scored from both. I'm like, that doesn't mean Arsenal should be 2-0 up, because if one goes in, the other doesn't come about. But Arsenal going into the game, and Martinelli's cross is cleared over his own bar by John Stones, and Arsenal coming strong in the second half of this first half. So it's the game is beginning to take shape. One thing I'd share with you is I don't particularly enjoy watching games at Wembley. Somehow I feel the games are too slow, and it's and the corner from Martinelli is perhaps one of the worst corners you'll ever see. Goes out for goes out for a goal kick on the other side, and like it bent over, uh, right over everybody, and I mean so far over it's untrue. So yeah, now uh, goal kick for City, and the game has begun again, and yeah, so I, I mean, like these City players are changing their position so often, it's hard to pin down who's playing where exactly. Of course, Haaland is playing up front, and what's his name? Stefan Ortega is playing in goal, but for others, Julian Alvarez, Jack Grealish is left, Bernardo Silva is right. Don't be surprised in the second half if Kevin De Bruyne comes on. Bukayo Saka! Bukayo Saka with a chance. He has a kanji on toast basically, and he's faster, he's quicker, he's more agile uh, than Manuel Akanji, and one of the best players England have, Arsenal have, and trying to call it like Iron Robin, but it goes a fair distance wide. It was wide, and it was like City in this game have gone off boil. Ortega pressed and then to this kind of position, but is helped out by his teammates, and yeah. So I mean, that's the game they are playing. Arsenal are bit risky. It went between a player's legs. I don't know who it was, Martinelli perhaps, but yeah. So in the last 5 to 10 minutes, I have to say it's all been Arsenal. City have gone without the ball. Erling Haaland has been. I haven't seen him that much. He's uh, he's uh, he's a bit kind of because most of the City possession is in the midfield. They go into midfield, Arsenal press them, they go back. Then it goes into midfield, they press them, they go back. So it's difficult for Erling Haaland to get too many touches of the ball, and they are uh, Arsenal are playing well, kind of counter attacking, but they are having the bulk of the chances, and yeah, I mean, unlucky not to be 1-0 ahead, and at least 1-0 ahead. Erling Haaland back in his own half defending, Julian Alvarez as well back in his own half defending. All City players are behind the ball. Arsenal dominating possession. Letting them dominate, not letting them. Arsenal are playing reasonably well, but it is what it is. Also, once again, get involved in the chat. Let talk about if you want to talk about something. And interesting to see how much time the referee Stuart Atwell adds to the game. New rules suggest that time for substitutions, injuries, etc. has to be added, and just like the World Cup, we had a lot of time being added on, and it's still a pre-season friendly. But we have seen Stuart Atwell being strict. He's already dished out 4 yellow cards, two to Arsenal players, one to Mikel Arteta and one to Julian Alvarez of Manchester City. So it's really looking forward to. I mean, football is life. So chance for City. Oh, again, Kai Havertz with a dreadful miss, absolutely dreadful miss, and like he's been awful, absolutely awful. Here goes Haaland against Saliba, one on one. Haaland, so strong, and Kai Havertz there, absolutely. I mean, if if this is what Kai Havertz is going to do, then I mean, like it's not good enough. It's like the and like it's like it's harder to miss. I mean, like you have to give credit to Ortega, who's such a good keeper. He was the keeper in the FA Cup final as well. But but Havertz has to score. These are two chances that he's and again Arsenal on the counter attack. Long way to go. Now they're in City's half, but Kyle Walker has gotten back. Havertz turns back, goes back to that's number four. But that is a dreadful miss by Kai Havertz. He has to, he has to do better. He has to. So Saliba with the ball. Bernardo closing him down. Haaland, Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey was close to leaving Arsenal this summer, but doesn't look like it. Granit Xhaka has left, and the only signing that Arsenal have been currently linked with is David Raya from Brentford, who's the goalkeeper. Similar profile to Aaron Ramsdale, and but one of them will have to be the number two. And again, a long ball forward. Ortega collects, goes to Ruben Diaz, and we begin again. So that's how it is currently, and yeah, of course, my team are playing a preseason friendly today as well. Newcastle taking on Villarreal, but this is different and perhaps more is online. This is technically a trophy, and that's what it is, and that's what it is, and see how it goes. Apart from the first few minutes, you have to say that City have been, Arsenal have been the better side. Uh, oh, good effort from the halfway line. From the halfway line, uh, Rodri, I think, trying to chip Aaron Ramsdale, and it it lands on the roof of the net. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw the Manchester United game against Lens, and Andre Onana conceded a goal against Shotka. So that kind of effort, but this time, of course, it lands on the roof of the net. So if you're watching, please click like, and if possible, do consider subscribing to the channel. It's a new channel. I mean, like a channel I started a while ago, but was busy with a lot of stuff. But been trying to be a lot more regular here. So request if you could help out. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Oh, good effort from City. They were in the Arsenal box, Played across the D, but no City player shoot. John Stones with the opportunity to perhaps shoot, but goes to Kyle Walker, and so that that is the thing. And last few minutes, of the first half, of course, as mentioned previously on numerous occasions, it would be interesting to see how much time is added on, and I'm thinking good about 3-4 minutes might be added on in this uh, in this first half. And Kyle Walker with a very poor touch runs the ball out of play, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal, and yeah, that that should bring about any meaningful end. But uh, I'm a bit confused, like how much time is going to be added on, and in this 45 minutes, I think, are up, and we should see the we should see the board from the fourth official going up as to 2 minutes, I think, have been added. Fair enough. It's a pre-season friendly, good challenge by Rodri. Kovacic, perhaps it was Kovacic, Rodri. The good thing is with Rodri is, his shirt is tucked in, so it's fairly easy to recognize him if you're not watching on a high definition television screen. And yeah, so yeah, 2 minutes have been added on. Mikel Arteta acting as the ball boy there, and Arsenal keeping possession. Perhaps they don't want to give Manchester City a chance before the break. Just a minute left, I think, and then let's see. Second half should bring about a few substitutions as well, and then we'll see. We'll see how we go from there. And shoot, shoot. Oh, good effort. Good effort from Mateo Kovacic, formerly of Chelsea, Real Madrid, Inter Milan. He's a cracking player as well. Different dynamic to Ilkay Gundogan, but of course, that should be half time. That should be half time, and we should go into the second half. That is indeed half time. Let me just reset the clock, and then we'll 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 see. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the in the uh, in the second half. But first half, let's talk about the first half, how it was, and like, for I expected more from Manchester City, to be honest. Arsenal absorbed pressure in the first few minutes of the game. First few minutes of the game, 10-15 minutes, City were dominant without creating anything, in particular. But Manchester City have been the better side. Arsenal have been the better side in the last few minutes. Kai Havertz has had two glorious chances, and in the you as an Arsenal fans might be asking, would Gabriel Jesus have scored those chances? Perhaps he would have. Who knows? But uh, but uh, but uh, but he's not playing. He's injured. He's injured, of course, and but Kai Havertz. I was listening to a blog or another podcast where they said Kai Havertz is a bit of a manager killer because he's 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 he misses so many gilt edge chances. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, mentioned previously, he has had two chances and he's made a mess of that. And City, of course, had a chance where he was Julian Alvarez perhaps could have headed it, but Ben White did defend really well and and I mean that was that for I mean uh, so let's see. Second half is expected to be different. Uh, we'll see we'll see uh, we'll see how it will turn out. We'll see how it turns out. But for now it's nil nil and City, they start slowly. Last two seasons they have started really slowly. Last season you might remember they lost the this game FA Community Shield against Liverpool 3-1 or 3-2. I think they lost, but then they went on to win the treble, historic treble. They won the Premier League. They beat Manchester United in the FA Cup final, two goals from Ilkay Gundogan, and then they beat, of course, Inter Milan in the final of the Champions League. Uh, Rodri scoring the only goal of the game. Andre Onana was the keeper, who's now at Manchester United. So now I wanted to talk about. As for this first half, there hasn't been anything special, but wanted to talk about the transfer business that has been done. Some of the players that have come into the Premier League. The players who I am excited by. Declan Rice, of course, we all know he was already in the Premier League. Josko Guardiol has come into Manchester City. He's a brilliant defender. I don't know if you've heard of him. Josko Guardiol from RB Leipzig. He's come in. Who's Chelsea have brought in Nicholas Jackson. He's been a super player. Last year he was with Villarreal, but Chelsea needed a striker. Sad to see Allens and Maximan leave Newcastle United. Uh, who else? Harry Kane might leave Tottenham Hotspur. Let's see what happens. Joe Louis has told Daniel Levy that if Harry Kane is not signing his contract, then he must sell him. Bayern Munich have bid 100 million euros or 85 million pounds for Harry Kane, but Daniel Levy, being Daniel Levy, he's not answered the call for the Bayern Munich call, and I mean, it's a bit disrespectful if you ask me. And who else? Liverpool have, of course, brought in Alexis McAllister. Everyone knows from Brighton. They have also brought in Dominic Szoboszlai from RB Leipzig. If you don't know, he's a Hungarian footballer, kind of a playmaker, which I don't think Liverpool have had in Klopp years. They basically had Mane, Firmino, Salah, and then they had three kind of defensive midfielders in Henderson, Wijnaldum and Fabinho or Thiago. Uh, so he's like a playmaker who can bring others into play. They of course have four or five strikers in Salah, Diaz, um, Salah, Diaz, Gakpo, Darwin Nunez, and who am I missing? Diego Jota. Liverpool have Jota as well, who scored twice on the last game of in the last game of the season against Southampton. So it will be interesting. Aston Villa. A lot of people are talking about Aston Villa. They've brought in Musa Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen. He's my pick for, if you any of you play football, fantasy football manager, I'd say pick Musa Diaby if you can. He's going to be super player. And if you're looking for a midfielder attacker, I don't know where he's qualified as, but Adingra from Brighton, he looks quite a talent. And Yuri Tillemans, of course, has gone to Aston Villa. Yuri Tillemans, Leicester got relegated. My team, Newcastle United, brought in Sandro Tonali from AC Milan, and of course Harvey Barnes from Leicester. And of course the team was strong last year. A couple of youngsters have come along in Elliot Anderson, who is going to be a star. Louis Miley, he's going to be a star as well. Both could be England international. I don't know about Elliot Anderson whether he's Scottish or not, but Louis Miley is going to be a star. And who else? Manchester United. Let's talk about Manchester United. They brought in Andre Onana. David De Gea leaving. He was he was a legend at Manchester United. 10, 12 years. 2011, he signed from Atletico Madrid. Andre Onana has come in. Mason Mount has come in. Rasmus Højlund has come in from Atalanta. Um, Rasmus Højlund is, for now, I think he's injured. Will not be available for Manchester United for a few weeks, and Mason Mount, Onana, Højlund, and they brought in another. Have they brought in another? I don't remember, but Sofian Amrabat has been linked. Of course, a lot of players have gone to Saudi Arabia as well. Riyad Mahrez has gone to Saudi Arabia from Manchester City, and who else? Brighton, Chelsea. Let's talk about Chelsea. They've lost a ton of players. Kai Havertz, of course, playing for Arsenal, and and uh, and Christian Pulisic has gone. Mateo Kovacic has gone. Who else has gone? Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has gone to Olympique Marseille. Uh, and who else have Chelsea lost? Um, Koulibaly has gone to Saudi Arabia. Al Hali, I think, he's gone to. And who else? Why am I not remembering these players? Malo Gusto has come in for Chelsea from Lyon. One player who did have a very good season last time round is uh, is of course Ian Matson at Burnley. Now he's back at Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino. Let's see how Pochettino does with the with the with the Chelsea, former Spurs manager. Of course, he he's good manager as well, and but didn't have that great a time at PSG. PSG won the league 1 year, but Lille did very well, winning the title, and the, so interesting. This season's dynamic. Of course, as I told you, I think City are too strong. Too much flux at a lot of teams. Aston Villa, a lot of teams, a lot of pundits are talking about. But yes, they had a good second half to the season. Unai Emery is such a good manager. He's done well at Sevilla, Villarreal, and at Arsenal and PSG. It wasn't, the politics was different at these two clubs, but yeah. So I mean, like, there were good 7, 8 clubs who, I mean, City aside, good 6, 7 clubs who would, who you would say that they would be, competing for UEFA Champions League spaces, UEFA Conference League spaces, Europa League places, and then of course that filters down to, the relegation fight as well. And so that's how this season is going to be. Uh, Thinking of doing a video tomorrow because the Premier League season begins on Friday with Pep Guardiola Manchester City taking on Vincent Company, who was Vincent Company's Burnley, who was, of course, Manchester City captain for so many years, then retired. Who would forget that goal against Leicester when he absolutely hammered it past Kasper Schmeichel, and then City went on to win the title. I think, which season was it? Might have been 17-18, when uh, that game against Brighton, they had to win, and they went behind to a goal by Glenn Murray, but then Aguero scored, Laporte scored, Mara scored, and then I think Gundogan might have scored the fourth one, and they won the title. And yeah, now this second half is about to start, and expecting a lot of changes in the second half as I mean, like, managers want to give their uh, their players a lot of, want to get them up to speed for the upcoming season. And yeah, so it's still half time, and we'll we'll see how it goes. The players are still not out the pitch, but shouldn't be too long, 2, 3 minutes, and then we'll have kickoff for the second half. And interesting, the rules, a lot of, I expect a lot of red cards this season in the in the Premier League, because referees have been, especially in the initial few months, with the referees being told to, be a lot stricter in their approach towards time wasting, a lot more drama, because we'll have a lot of added time. Referees have been told that you should add time for injuries, goal celebrations, any kind of stoppage and substitutions. So this thing will affect the how the Premier League season unfolds, and therefore fitness is going to be crucial. Time wasting, we we saw, I mean, we see game management by all the teams, and yeah. So it will be interesting. I mean, first weekend is always new players making their debuts. First season, it will be what it will be, and so let's see how it pans out. But excitement among the fans, I mean, it reaches fever pitch towards the towards the when it approaches the first week, of course, and City players are back on the pitch, still waiting for Arsenal players, and yeah, so and here come the Arsenal players, and yeah, doesn't look like any substitution for Arsenal, and and a lot of fans are probably still getting their food and drinks and beverages and snacks. So let's see how it goes in the second half. As I told you, there is no extra time in this game. It's a commentators call it a pre-season friendly. So should it will be should it end in a draw, whatever the score, 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, it will be going straight to uh, straight to and the second half is will be going. Have to adjust the timer, so apologies with that. And timer, it's not working. Just not showing. So this is the second half that we have. It started, and and that's where we are. And yep. So of course, it's changed. Manchester City team: Ortega in goal, Walker, captain, Stones, Diaz, and Akanji at left back. Rodri and Kovacic in midfield, Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, and Jack Grealish, and of course Erling Haaland is up top playing on his own, and we have we should have Arsenal team as well. There aren't any changes. If you want, I'll run you through it. Ramsdale, Ben White at right back, Saliba and Gabriel at centre halves, and Julian Timber at left back. And then we have Rice and Partey in midfield, followed by Odegaard, Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, and then as striker we have Kai Havertz. So in the first half, it was all Arsenal in the first few in the last few minutes, not last few, but like last half of the game, they dominated quite a bit. Uh, it was brilliant by Arsenal if they can keep that kind of form up uh, throughout the next season. They should, they will, they will. I mean, like they should have a good season. A lot of people are saying that last season was a bit. Arsenal were lucky, perhaps, but this season it is going to be a tougher test for Arsenal, and and you see we'll see how it goes for Arsenal. But so far, nothing much to speak of. Bukayo Saka has looked good, of course he has. he has looked very good. He's a good player. What else would you expect? And at the end of the season, of course, there are Euros. Players would be looking to impress managers. We saw Gareth Southgate in the crowd, and City have started this uh, second half a lot better compared to the drab first half. They dished up, and Grealish with a nice cross, which was headed away, and now Martin Odegaard and Kai Havertz loses possession, and someone's gone down injured. Let's see who it is. Probably Rodri. Yeah, it's Rodri. As I said, easy to recognize with his shirt tucked nicely under his shorts. So, yeah. So Rodri's gone down injured, and no, it was Stones. It wasn't Stones. Anyways, whoever it was is now back up, and the game is underway. And Kai Havertz has been very poor. I have to be honest. I don't know if any Arsenal fans are watching or not, but Kai Havertz has been dreadful. He was dreadful in the first half, and he is dreadful in the second half as well. So, so yeah, Stones losing the ball again, and then it goes back to City. City have won it back. Rodri with the ball. Now it's with Kovacic. Kovacic plays to Alvarez, and then chance perhaps. Uh, Kyle Walker's cross is cut out by Julian Timber. Have to say that Julian Timber has had a very good game. He's done really well on his, you could call it his debut, uh, his Arsenal debut, and even though it's still quite of a friendly, but he's done well against Kyle Walker and Bernardo Silva. He's got good help from Odegaard or Martinelli. Here is a corner. Oh, good save, Ramsdale. Good header. Good header. I don't know who it was. Good chance for City, but straight at Ramsdale, and it was Rodri with the header. No, John Stones with the header, and straight at Ramsdale. A lot of pushing and shoving going on. Declan Rice holding on to Erling Haaland, not letting him, get a run on defender. Should technically be a foul and then consequently be a penalty, but isn't given. Odegaard is down injured now and receiving treatment. Doesn't look like anything serious. Perhaps a tactical ploy to get a break. Mikel Arteta giving team talk in the middle of the game, and yep. So this is perhaps City's clearest chance that they have had. It was straight at Ramsdale, and you'd expect a keeper, an England keeper, to save that. It was straight at him, and it was straight at him. But I mean, it was what it was. No goal, still 0-0, and yeah, we should begin in next 10-15 seconds. Odegaard looks fine to continue. Just a bit of treatment, and then it is starting, and now it's Kovacic on the ball. Passes it to Broad Stones. Was it? Odegaard is back on the pitch. fine for now. Cross comes in and it's cleared by Arsenal, but straight out of play, and it's a City throw. Two teams you could say that are fairly equal, and yeah, should be a good. I mean, like game where no one. Jack Grealish loses possession. Ben White has done well against him. His England teammate, compatriot, and Ruben Erling Haaland getting a touch. Once again, Erling Haaland has been very isolated. And it's a foul to Arsenal. Rodri, must say, not a fan of this City jersey. The names, the way they have been printed, navy blue names and names in white, navy blue numbers and names in white. Uh, it's it's and it's and I don't know how much they're going to price this jersey, but this doesn't look. I mean that that I mean appealing. I mean, not a fan. And like the color combination is nice, but white names and dark navy blue kind of numbers, it's not the best. And Arsenal getting into the groove. Thomas Partey to Odegaard, who's slightly playing towards the right hand side of the midfield with Saka, and Martinelli on the left. Declan Rice, Declan Rice showing his abilities on the ball. Arsenal and like Arsenal have been the better team this in the last 30-35 minutes of gameplay. City can barely conjure up anything. I think City need De Bruyne, Foden, these kind of players. And Foden is ready to come on, and I think it's again full Foden is on for Jack Grealish, who hasn't done. Uh, I don't think he's impressed that much in this game, and yeah. So here comes Phil Foden on for Jack Grealish. Exciting talent. Phil Foden still only 22, 23, and all by Ruben Diaz. City Arsenal players asking for a yellow card on Bukayo Saka, but doesn't look like any card will be given to Ruben Diaz. But the way Bukayo Saka went down, eh, fine, it's a foul. Shouldn't be anything more than a yellow card, more than a free kick. Doesn't mean to say that Bukayo Saka is not hurting, but I mean, it shouldn't be anything more than a yellow card. I don't think. I don't think it's free kick to Arsenal. Let's see what they can do. They can do with this. game has kind of slowed down in this second half. Substitutions will not help matters, and yeah, so free kick to Arsenal. Martinelli to take. There it goes. There it goes. Not the best free kick cleared away by City. Well, actually, it ends up with a throw into Manchester City. Kyle Walker to take deep into his own half, deep into his own half. Manchester City to take the free kick, throw, and taking too long and not taking it from where it was, from where it should have been taken, easily taking 5-10 yards, you know, and that's all it is. Manchester City, I don't know what they're doing. This, I mean, like it's boring the hell out of me. They're playing so slowly when they're just waiting for Arsenal to come on to them, and then they'll do something. And like then, of course, who's who, who's going to argue with three Premier Leagues in a row? But in the last few games that I've seen City play, like the Champions League and this game, they're so slow. In the last two Premier League games, when they had already won the title, they were the okay against Brighton, and then they, of course, if you may remember, they lost against Brentford in the last game of the season. Of course, there was nothing to play, but they had two important games coming up in the FA Cup against Manchester United, and the Champions League final, of course, against Inter Milan. There was the final in Turkey, I think it was, and now I think it's offside, or is it like a goal kick? Martin Odegaard trying to stir up crowd, and yeah. Once again, City playing in their own 6 yard box, let alone 18-yard box, passing between the defender and the goalkeeper, taking life into their own hands, and Haaland getting a touch. Sometimes I forget that he's even playing. It's all in the midfield or in defense. Haaland is getting very few touches. He's not getting involved in the build-up play. Credit to Arsenal that they're not letting him. You know, I mean, the City have not had that many opportunities, but Haaland has been fairly invisible types. Arsenal in City's box. Chance perhaps. Declan Rice over the bar. Good chance. Arsenal did well there, but over the bar comfortably. I think even in rugby it would have been over the bar, but so that's what it is. And Erling Haaland is coming off. His game is over. Cole Palmer is coming on, and so Erling Haaland is off. Cole Palmer, of course, he's a England youth international. England under 21s won the Euros, and Kevin De Bruyne is on for Mateo Kovacic. So perhaps we'll see Arsenal doing a bit, Manchester City doing a bit better. Tough for Kevin De Bruyne, who got injured in the Champions League final twice in a row. He, I mean, he got injured against Chelsea. He got injured against Inter Milan, and I think it's a corner to Arsenal. And let's see what Arsenal can do. Uh, must say Julian Timber has done really well today, and corner to is it corner? Is it a free kick? It's a corner, and crowded in the 6 yard box. Here comes the corner, cleared away initially for another corner this time, and Arsenal fans expecting good height. Arsenal players, so a decent corner, and Arsenal should be in business. Here comes the corner. Ooh, it was close, but it's out for a Manchester City goal kick, and someone is down injured in City box. Kai Havertz is down, but he's just making a meal of I don't know. And it was Gabriel and Thomas Partey and Kai Havertz, and the ball has gone clearly out, and they are trying to delay the restart. And yeah, so still still nil nil. Unfortunately, no goals, and I think Gabriel has been booked as well, and so okay, the game has restarted, and we have Kevin De Bruyne gets his first touch after coming on, and it goes wide. Gabriel Magalhaes was indeed booked, and looks like another one of those games where one goal, talking of one goal will be enough to win win the game, and who knows, might even go to penalties, and from there we'll see how it turns out. And Arsenal, of course, haven't made any substitutions. Man City have made three in two windows, and like initially, Jack Grealish went off for Phil Foden. Here comes chance for City, perhaps. Oh, Arsenal, perhaps, but it's cleared away by Rodri, and unlucky there for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka kind of miskicked, I think, and Arsenal look good. Arsenal look good. Let me check who are Arsenal playing on the first weekend of the season. Uh, City, as I've already told you, they are playing Burnley. So, Arsenal are playing Nottingham Forest. Of course, Nottingham Forest beat Arsenal to confirm their survival in the Premier League last season. Here comes longish kind of a ball, and Kevin De Bruyne with the pass. Bernardo Silva shot, perhaps no, goes wide. Kyle Walker goes to Phil Foden. Rodri, John Stones, Ruben Diaz Goes to Bernardo Silva in the midfield, and back to Ruben Diaz, no, John Stones, and then Phil Foden, or Kyle Walker rather. So, quarter of the game left. Kevin De Bruyne running at. Oh, chance for Alvarez. Phil Foden! Good block. Cole Palmer it is, not Phil Foden, whose shot is headed, deflected over by Julian Timber. Julian Timber has done really well. He looks like solution to Arsenal's left back problems. Kieran Tierney, of course, injured quite a bit. Zinchenko, not sure what's wrong with him. And corner to Manchester City again. City ramping up the pressure on Manchester City. Arsenal. I don't know why I'm mixing up the names, but uh, City are amping the pressure up. Time to Arsenal to batten down the hatches and then absorb the pressure and then take it from there. And, let's see what they do. Cross comes in. Good composure. Good composure by the Arsenal player. Four City players were around him, but in the end he kicked it straight to City keeper. But I mean, it wasn't as if he was, taking life into his own hands. He knew what he was doing. He was calm, composed under pressure from four City players. Rodri. Kai Havertz is such a looks like looks a lazy player, but of course he is he is ball is down Arsenal right, and then now back to center half Ruben John Stones. Then now it's with Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, Manuel Akanji, Foden, Bernardo Silva, who's kind of playing as a left back. Akanji is playing further forward, and like in this move at least. Uh, good ball by Rodri. Finds Kyle Walker. Can he play another deflection? And it's another corner. It's a third corner in a row, in quick succession for Arsenal, and Arsenal are coming increasing under increasing pressure from Manchester City. It's uh, it's Arsenal dominated possession, but now it's City's turn. Here comes the corner from De Bruyne. Cleared, should be cleared by Saka. And now on the counter, Timber to Bukayo Saka. But he misplaces it to Julian Alvarez. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer. City on the attack again. De Bruyne, he's helped change the game. Good, clever little try, but the ball ends in. I mean, it ends up going behind, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal. So let's see what happens next. But game hasn't been that exciting, and another break. Substitutions. Here comes Leandro Trossard, and Martinelli is going off. Trossard, of course, signed from Brighton in January at a stormer for Arsenal. Assist upon assist upon assist. Good player, but I think will basically be a squad player for for Arsenal this season. And let's see how it goes. Julian Timber's debut comes to an end. On comes Kieran Tierney. Zinchenko must be injured. I don't remember whether he's on the bench or not, but but time still goes long, and back to keeper, and like headed back to Ortega. Again, no urgency as you would expect. There is you don't want to get injured just before the start of the season, and so well done by Phil Foden. Now City are breaking. Good pass, good pass from De Bruyne. It's a goal. It's a goal. It's Cole Palmer. Manchester City lead. Manchester City lead. Manchester City have taken the lead against against Arsenal, and it's Cole Palmer who has scored the goal. Cole Palmer who scored the goal. So great for him. Brilliant play. Kevin De Bruyne with the assist, and it's Manchester City who have taken the lead. Arsenal are behind, and a superb finish, absolutely superb finish. And Manchester City have taken the lead. Cole Palmer, who came on as a substitute for Erling Haaland, and he's delivered for Manchester City. Another, if City can keep a clean sheet, who knows? Another Pep Guardiola is delighted, and yeah, so could be a breakthrough season for Cole Palmer, this one, and yeah, so good player. Might, who knows, might be sent out on loan, but for now he's the winner. He is the one guy who scored the winner, and Manchester City are 1-0 up against Arsenal. Same old, same old. This is Pep Guardiola against his former assistant. All City have to do is like keep their composure. Oh, nearly lost the ball there, Rodri, but then no, he doesn't. And it's Kevin De Bruyne on the attack. He's got Phil Foden to him, to his left. He goes to Phil Foden, De Bruyne, Foden, 1-2s galore, and John Stones, and it's now goes to Bernardo and then to Ruben Diaz. So Arsenal still backing off. 10, 12 minutes remaining. Not sure how it will be, but the superb finish. Cole Palmer, the move. It looked like it will break down, but then Kevin De Bruyne with a smart headed pass to Cole Palmer, who came on then up against Kieran Tierney, who himself had just come on for Julian Timber, and then he placed a delightful pass to delightful pass to Cole Palmer, and then, as they say, that's all she wrote. And Arsenal substitution: Eddie Nketiah coming on for Declan Rice, whose debut is over for Arsenal, and competitive or a semi-competitive game, but he did he did okay. He did okay, but City, even though for large parts of the game they were under the pump, and, but that's what the mark of a good team is. But then also you have to look at those two chances for Kai Havertz, which he absolutely bungled, and I mean, now City become even more dangerous because now they Arsenal have to come and play, which makes the counter attacking option, you know, which opens the counter attacking option for Manchester City, and we all know what they can do. Such technical team, not afraid to take risks as well as the ball is lost. But there Rodri is again playing it back to Stefan Ortega, who hoofs it long, and perhaps another chance for City. And Julian Alvarez, Bernardo Silva. No, for Phil Foden it was just wide. Good save from Ramsdale, and so nearly 2-0 to uh, might have no was onside, but a great save from Ramsdale. You know, between it was going between his legs, but touched one leg and then went out for a corner, which Kevin De Bruyne will take, and and yep. So, good attempt. Rodri with an attempt. Ramsdale looking to release the ball quickly. Last 10, 14 minutes more or less remaining. Let's see. Let's see how these few minutes play out. Remember, this is not like a Premier League game where everyone is, fit and watching, fit and ready to go. The players are still gaining fitness. They haven't played for a while, so maybe Arsenal players will begin to tire. Substitutions will slow the game down. With Thomas Partey, Bukayo Saka, foul, but referee plays the advantage, and here go Arsenal again. Odegaard, I think it is. And then Thomas Partey. This is Odegaard. City on the counter, but Thomas Partey recovering well. All at Ramsdale's feet. No urgency. I'm only guessing that there's no urgency, but it doesn't look like City are in any trouble. Since going behind, Arsenal haven't, you know, for a while, ever since Kevin De Bruyne came on, actually, uh, he's the he's the kryptonite for the Arsenal team. I mean, is that was another chance for Rodri from the corner, but Ramsdale at his near post did really well, really really well, and foul. Maybe another yellow card coming in Arsenal's way. Cole Palmer is fouled, and Arsenal not doing much at all. The kind of uh, city legend in the crowd. Not sure who he is, but looks like a city legend. We had Gilberto Silva representing Arsenal, so I'm guessing it's a city legend. Might be Colin Bell, but then again, I'm only guessing. I have no idea who he might or might not be. So, last 5 minutes of the first half. Emil Smith Rowe is on for Gabriel. Kai Havertz goes off. And, we have Fabio Vieira who's coming on. Cheeky little throw in. Uh, on. The game is now being played in Arsenal's half. City is looking to time waste, even in a friendly, and it's a foul. And players getting angry shows how much they want to win actually. So that's a good thing from player side. They they're competitive. They're showing that uh, nothing will be asked or given by anybody, and Ramsdale has the ball. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it. De Bruyne. De Bruyne loses. Partey wins it back and then is fouled. But referee plays the advantage, and uh, Ben White with the ball. Thomas. Oh, Rodri is foul. Now he's going to get a yellow card. That is as cynical as it comes. Such a bad foul. No, no yellow card. Was it carded? No, that's strange. He should have been carded given how Stuart Ratwell has been dishing out cards. That I like that was more of a card than any of the previous ones that is dished out. I mean, that was a card. That was the quintessential yellow card. When White with the ball, taking his own sweet time. Absolutely dreadful pass from I don't know who it was. But, and Arsenal passing it backwards. City haven't looked in any trouble in this second half. Yes, Kai Havertz had a chance which he should have scored from. And like it wasn't a 50-50 chance. It was a gilt edge chance which he should have scored from, at least in my eyes. And but City haven't looked in any real danger. And if that continues, then the Community Shield is going to Manchester. Um, it's Emil Smith Rowe, Thomas Partey, that Kieran Tierney. Bukayo Saka. The ball goes back to Ben White. Then it's MS Smith Rowe, Odegaard. I think it's Fabio Vieira. Cross comes in. Vieira, I think. This ball head injury between two players. The referee must stop the game. He does, and both players look hurt. It's Kyle Walker and Thomas Partey, I think. Yeah, nasty. Looks nasty. The injury looks really nasty, and yeah. So it will add time, and then who knows, maybe concussion protocols will be followed here, and Cole Palmer, of course, is the match winner as things stand. The superb goal, like Iron Robin curling it, and Pep Guardiola. Look how happy he's looking at his attire, like wearing jeans, shoes without socks. Maybe he's wearing socks, but I can't see it from here. And, good old no suit, no tracksuit, but watching. We are into edit time, but I think uh, a good amount will be added, and we'll see how it goes. Robert Jones, I think, is the fourth official, and both players are being, bandaged up, they should really go off. There's no point continuing and taking any risks. It's just it's a game with very little, at stake. So, yeah, they should really go off and then once again, if you're watching, please do consider subscribing to the channel. To the channel helps me, doesn't cost anything, and yeah, would be really glad and and they would really like you know for you to subscribe to the channel. It will help me. Doesn't cost you anything, and be nice if you can subscribe to the channel. So, Thomas Partey is back on with his head bandaged like a warrior, and game is about to restart. Not sure how many added minutes are there, but will be quite a few. And but honestly, Arsenal. Oh, there was slight chance that Arsenal might score, but Ramsdale was in a good position, and Arsenal are still passing it back. Do they even realize that they are 1-0 down and need to need to you know still not sure how much edit time has been put on, but I'm fairly certain there are 5-7 minutes still to go. Good ball, well intercepted by Kyle Walker. City now in total defending mode. Emil Smith Rowe. Arsenal keeping it at the back. They 1-0 down. Kyle Cole Palmer with the only goal of the game so far. He was the substitute. He came in for Erling Haaland and way to make a name for himself. And yeah, in theory, Arsenal shouldn't be playing in this game because I mean these are the rules, but technically it's the winner of the Premier League versus the winners of the FA Cup. But because Manchester City won both, so Premier League runners-up are here, and a chance perhaps for Arsenal, but blocked in the end by Rodri. He makes so many blocks, so many interceptions. It's unbelievable. Look at Kevin De Bruyne pressing in the last few minutes of the game, and yeah, and and as we move into the dying embers of the game, I don't want to speak before it's final, or as they say, before the chickens are hatched. Um, but looks like The shield is going to Arsenal. Chance for Arsenal to cross, and Arsenal have a corner, a late corner for Arsenal, and who knows what might come of it. The game, I'd say it's not been the best in terms of chances and general play in particular, but it is what it is. Cleared away by Man City for now, still at the edge of the area. But deflected, and it's equalizer. And it's an equalizer. It's, I don't know who it is, but Arsenal have equalized, and it's a big deflection. Zinchenko, I think it is, and it came off Manuel Akanji, and yeah. So now we are going into extra time, not extra time, but like there will be penalties. Akanji knew nothing about it. It was Trossard actually. Akanji was actually trying to get out of the way, and it's an Manuel Akanji own goal, which has, brought parity to the game, and Leandro Trossard shot, and it's brought parity to the game. Tough for 101st minute. This was, and and let's see. Free kick to Manchester City. Let's see if they can, it was close, but straight into Aaron Ramsdale's hands. Stuck on the right side for Arsenal. De Bruyne, but the time is up. And the game ends in a draw, which means we are going to the penalty shootout. Going to penalties, and from there it's a pure lottery. Let's see what happens in penalties, who takes them, which end the players choose, and we'll see how it goes with the penalty shootout. You never know how it pans out, but overall I think it was a fairly even game. Arsenal gave as good as they got, and they could have done more. Kai Havertz should have scored more. I mean, should have scored twice, to be honest. But in the end, it ends with a draw. Cole Palmer with the goal for Manchester City, and then Manuel Akanji own goal. I think it's an own goal. Leandro Trossard shot. Of course, these days you never know who or what they're going to decide. But for me, it was an own goal, Manuel Akanji own goal in the 101st minute of the game, and the game ends all square. Now we are through to the off to the penalty shootout to determine who wins this game. And in the penalties, anything can happen. Last year, Liverpool won 3-1, I think, on in the in normal time, and and yeah, so the penalties should start in a while. Players are on the pitch itself, and the toss should happen, or is it happening now? Can't see from here. The referee is there. One of the captains is with him. Players are in the center circle, and the penalties should begin soon. Tough for Manchester City to concede in the 101st minute of the game, and it was virtually there for them. And yep, Manchester City players look happy. I mean, like, they don't look like any side who's under pressure or something like that. If you win, great. If you don't win, fine. Let's go. The Premier League begins next season or next week. Manchester City take on Burnley on Friday. Arsenal take on Nottingham Forest on Saturday. And then it's a long haul, long slog for 8-9 months. Both these teams are in Champions League as well. There is FA Cup, there is Carabao Cup, and of course, so let's see. The penalties are about to begin. I think Arsenal are going first. Arsenal are going first. Martin Odegaard to take the first penalty, and the Norwegian international teammate of Erling Haaland at international level. So he'll be going in first, and let's see what he does with the penalty. Stefan Ortega in Manchester City goal, of course. So here it goes. Odegaard scores towards the right hand side of Stefan Ortega. It's 1-0 to Arsenal, and Arsenal, after a single penalty, they are 1-0 up. Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester City to take the first penalty. I still can't believe this is such a late. It was such a late goal that hard to swallow. Hard to swallow. And it's Kevin De Bruyne has missed. Kevin De Bruyne has missed the penalty, and Arsenal are 1-0 up after one penalty each, and it thunders back off the bar, and Kevin De Bruyne has missed his penalty. and like could have gone either way, but wasn't to be. And it's Leandro Trossard, I think, with the second penalty for Arsenal. Can Leandro Trossard score up against Stefan Ortega? And there goes Trossard. He scores. Arsenal are now 2-0 up. Arsenal, of course, have taken two penalties. City have taken one. And, of course, that's how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. And it's Bernardo Silva with the Manchester City's second penalty. Has to score. Has to score. Has to score. He does score. He does score. Manchester City 2, Arsenal 2, Manchester City 1. Two penalties each. Bukayo Saka to take the penalty. Of course, missed a penalty last season against West Ham. Missed against Italy in the final of the Euro 2020, even though it was held in 2021. Will Bukayo Saka score? Let's see. He scores. Arsenal are now 3-1 up. 3-1 up, and Community Shield is very close to going to Arsenal. And must say that Stefan Ortega hasn't even gotten close to a penalty. And like, forget about saving it. He hasn't even gotten close. It's saved! It's saved! Rodri's penalty is saved! Rodri's penalty is saved. And Ramsdale saves it. And if this goes in, Arsenal win the Community Shield. Absolutely dreadful penalty right down the middle, and Aaron Ramsdale could have saved that in his sleep actually. And here comes Fabio Vieira. Absolutely dreadful penalty. The onus is on Fabio Vieira. If he scores, Arsenal win the Community Shield 2023-2024. And left footer Stefan Ortega hasn't even gotten close to any penalties, and if this goes in, bye bye Community Shield. He scores. Arsenal win the Community Shield. They beat Manchester City 4-1 on penalties to win the Community Shield. Fabio Vieira with the winning penalty, and yeah, City had it all in their own hand, but in the end they threw it away. 4-1 they win, Arsenal that is. And yeah, first trophy of the season for Arsenal. Perhaps revenge for last season, and that is how it is. It's a preseason game, but nevertheless, Arsenal win the game. And disappointment for City. Pep looks disappointed. Um, Arsenal have won the Community Shield. Brilliant by them. Fabio Vieira with a, I mean, even if there were two goalkeepers, Arsenal, this penalty wouldn't have been saved. And yeah, so, and a good game overall. 50-50 game means a lot to the fans. We can see them celebrating. Arteta wins. He won the FA Cup in his first season when he was appointed um, after the dismissal of Unai Emery, and Arsenal win 4-1 on penalties. So fairly even game. Manchester City would think they should have won, but in the end, Arsenal win it. They win 4-1 on penalties, and congratulations to them. I'll 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 see you in my next few videos. Till then, take care. Congratulations to Arsenal. Commiserations to Manchester City. The Premier League season begins next weekend. Burnley taking on Manchester City in the first game of the season. Let's see how it goes. Till then, take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.